Good morning, everybody. I'm Maarten Bal, Country Manager of Dev Team G-Cloud Netherlands. Welcome to the second edition of the Dev Team G-Cloud Day. Now, we have a very exciting agenda for you today. We're gonna kick it off at 11 o'clock with a battle-tested journey, how to go to Google. It's a great customer case between Melexis and Dev Team, very interesting. That is actually followed up at 11:30 with a session about Cortex and how to transform sub data into consumable business-oriented data in a matter of hours. This is done by Victor Palkin from Google. Next up is our very own Payam Ebrahimi, CTO, Dev Team G-Cloud Netherlands. He will be talking about under the hood of Kubernetes. Now, after a short break, then we will continue with actually a great international keynote speaker, John Duke Logan. And this session after that is, I think, a very important topic these days, and that is Google's Zero Trust solution Beyond Corp and how that is executed by Carrefour. The last session of today is 20 minutes to 4. And this is a session about Apigee, how to scale and monetize your APIs and get still actionable insights out of them. So, since the first edition of Dev Team G-Cloud Netherlands, we have come to see that many of the changes forced by the pandemic onto our society are at least permanent, are here to stay. I'm talking, of course, about flex working and working from home. Next to this, we can see that the pandemic has actually also forced companies in utilizing more public cloud solutions, such as a collaborative suite like Google Workspace, but also for the cloud infrastructures using public cloud like Google Cloud Platform. And this is where it gets interesting, because why did this happen? It's kind of obvious. When you send all your employees home, then all of a sudden you need tools like Google Meet and Google Drive to help your employees turn their living rooms and their kitchens, maybe even bedrooms, into virtual meeting rooms. Next to that, however, something similar kind of happened for companies and their cloud infrastructures. All of a sudden, they were forced to think about how to maintain their applications in a flexible way and, importantly, remotely. Now, of course, next to that, there was a second very large effect of the pandemic, and that was there were, for some industries, very positive shocks in the demand, and in other industries, there were very negative shocks on the demands. All of a sudden, the story completely changed for these companies. Now, it was very important for them that they would actually be able to scale the infrastructure underlying their applications up or down whenever necessary, so they could actually maintain or at least salvage a bit from the profit and the profitability they still had. So, what is the next step? Well, this is of course the past, right? We're now talking 2020, 2021. However, in the next years, we have a whole new challenge, and we need to seriously start thinking about how we can fulfill the next promise of the public cloud. And that is, how can we severely lower the time spent by your IT teams on maintenance? In this point in time, Google has many partial and complete managed services that could actually are already maintained by Google. They are utilizing these services across the industry in a massive way would actually help to sever the tie between your IT solutions growing immensely and the need to have people and growing the amount of people in your teams to maintain them. And that is absolutely essential right now, because If we look at the job vacancies in the Netherlands, we see that we are at a peak all-time high, at least in this decennium, of open vacancies. And when we are talking IT positions, there are more than 20,000 open at this point in time. So if we pop the hood, however, of company IT platforms, what we really see is that the most commonly used infrastructure is still virtual machines. And that means that your teams are still maintaining the entire stack from network to database, storage, servers, virtual machines, OS, applications, etc., etc. And that is time that is not spent on innovation. Whereas at the same time, other companies in your industry might already have solved this issue and are growing far more rapidly. Also, you need to ask yourself, in this market, is it very wise to be this dependable on the amount of people? It can actually, if you ask your engineers to continuously execute on dull, repetitive work, that's actually going to be a very costly, expensive way to maintain your engineers and to actually be able to maintain your growth path. So, what is my suggestion for today? Check out our sessions because Google Cloud Platform has many solutions which are very low on maintenance. So I think, for instance, about have for your data warehouse about BigQuery, which is fully maintained instead of having Hadoop on a private server. Or think about using Cloud Run for an application, or using Kubernetes together with Autopilot for your entire infrastructure, all your applications. And finally, of course, also wise to think about when you're in-house developing software is how do we actually make sure our CI/CD pipeline gets to scale without a lot of maintenance on it. So, as a final thought, DevTeam G-Cloud Netherlands has been able to grow in only 2 years to becoming a top 3 Google partner in the Netherlands. And the main reason why this is the case is because we have continuously focused with our customers on lowering maintenance, on getting the innovation in the infrastructure of their applications, because in the end it is the flexibility of your infrastructure which is highly gonna impact your capacity to outperform your market. And we think about the infrastructure, but also we try to think with our customers about how to implement a proper data warehouse solution, or getting your CI/CD pipeline built up in a more cloud-native way. Last thing I can say for today is have a lot of fun enjoying DevTeam G-Cloud Day. Thank you very much.